Hello grade 6, how are you today? I hope you are fine. Today we are going to study the distance between 2 points in the coordinates plane. We had studied before how to find the distance between 2 points in the set of natural numbers. The set of natural numbers formed from 0 and counting numbers. So the set of natural numbers equals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So if we need to represent the set of natural numbers on numbers line, we have to start from 0. In horizontal array starts from 0 and moving to right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and so on. So if we need to find the distance between 2 points like A and B, to find the distance between A and B, we have to find the length of line segment AB. The length of line segment AB equals the absolute value of B minus A. B equals 7 and A equals 1. So the length of line segment AB equals the absolute value of 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 equals 6. The absolute value of 6 equals 6. By the same way, in the vertical numbers, we start from 0 and moving up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. So if we need to find the distance between 2 points like C and D, to find the distance between C and D, we have to find the length of line segment CD. The length of line segment CD equals the absolute value of D minus C. D equals 1 and C equals 7. So the absolute value of 1 minus 7 equals negative 6. And the absolute value of negative 6 equals 6. And we had studied before how to find the distance between 2 points in the coordinates plane for the set of natural numbers. In the set of natural numbers, we have two rays to represent the numbers, the ray OX and the ray OY. The ray OX is perpendicular to the ray OY. OX is perpendicular to OY. And the intersected point between OX and OY is the point O. So to represent the natural numbers in coordinate planes starts from 0 and moving right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and so on. And on the ray OY starts also from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on. So if we need to find the distance between 2 points like A, B and C, to find the distance between A and B, we have to find the length of line segment AB. But note that the line segment AB is parallel to the ray OX. The line segment AB is parallel to the ray OX. So we can use the ray OX to find the length. The length of AB equals the absolute value of P minus A. P on OX equals 7 and A equals 2. So the absolute value of 7 minus 2 equals the absolute value of 5. And the absolute value of 5 equals 5. And now let's try to find the distance between B and C. To find the distance between B and C, we have to find the length of line segment BC. But notice that the line segment BC is parallel to the ray OY. The line segment BC parallel to the ray OY. So we can use the ray OY to find the distance. Use the ray OY to find the distance. The length of line segment BC equals C minus B. C minus B. C equals 2 and B equals 5. The absolute value of 2 minus 5 equals negative 3. And the absolute value of negative 3 equals 3. And now let's start with the second part of our lesson. How to find the distance between 2 points and the set of integer numbers. The set of integer numbers formed from 0 and positive numbers and negative numbers. So if we need to represent the set of integer numbers in the horizontal axis, starts from 0 and moving right to represent the positive numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And also starts from 0 and moving to left to represent the negative numbers negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4 and so on. So if we need to find the distance between 2 points like A and B. To find the distance between A and B, we have to find the length of line segment AB. The length of line segment AB equals the absolute value of B minus A. B equals 4 and A equals negative 3. So the absolute value of 4 minus negative 3 equals the absolute value of 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 equals 7. The absolute value of 7 equals 7. By the same way, in a vertical axis, we start from 0 and moving up to represent the positive numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And also start from 0 and also starts from 0 and moving down to represent the negative numbers negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4 and so on. So if we need to find the distance between 2 points like C and D. To find the distance between C and D, we have to find the length of line segment CD. The length of line segment CD equals D minus C inside the absolute value. D equals negative 3 and C equals 2. The absolute value of negative 3 minus 2 equals the absolute value of negative 5. And the absolute value of negative 5 equals 5. But notice that the distance between any 2 points on the numbers line should be equal. And now let's learn how to find the distance between 2 points in the coordinates plane for the set of integer numbers. The set of integer numbers has 2 rays to represent the positive numbers, the ray OX and the ray OY, and 2 rays to represent the negative numbers, OX dash and OY dash. So if we need to represent the set of integer numbers, we start from 0 and moving to right 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And on OY starts from 0 and moving up 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And in the negative numbers start also from 0, -1, -2, -3, -4 and so on. And on OY dash start also from 0, -1, -2, -3, -4 and so on. So if we need to find the distance between 2 points like A, B, C and D. To find the distance between A and B, we have to find the length of line segment AB. And notice that the line segment AB is parallel to the straight line XX dash. So we can use the straight line XX dash to find the distance. So the length of line segment AB equals the absolute value of B minus A. On XX dash, B equals 2 and A equals -2. So the absolute value of 2 minus -2 equals the absolute value of 2 plus 2. The absolute value of 2 plus 2 equals the absolute value of 4. And the absolute value of 4 equals 4. And now let's try to find the distance between B and C. The distance between B and C. To find the distance between B and C, we have to find the length of line segment BC. The length of line segment BC. But notice that the line segment BC is parallel to the straight line y dash. The straight line y dash. So we can use the straight line y dash to find the length. The length of line segment BC equals the absolute value of C minus B. C equals -1 and B equals 2. So the absolute value of -1 minus 2 equals the absolute value of -3. And the absolute value of -3 equals 3. And now let's try to solve some exercise. Exercise 1. The points A, B and C represent the numbers 2, 9 and 12 respectively. The distance between the 2 points A and B is length of line segment AB equals coordinate of the ending point minus coordinate of the starting point. So the distance between A and B equals the end point 9 minus the start point 2. So 9 minus 2 equals 7 centimeters. Now let's try with the line segment AC. The distance between A and C equals the length of line segment AC equals the absolute value of end point C minus start point A. C equals 12 and A equals 2. So the absolute value of 12 minus 2 equals the absolute value of 10. The absolute value of 10 equals 10 centimeters. Now try to find the distance between B and C. The distance between B and C equals the length of line segment BC equals the absolute value of C minus B. C equals 12 and E equals 9. The absolute value of 12 minus 9 equals the absolute value of 3. The absolute value of 3 equals 3 centimeters. Now try to find the distance between N and M in this vertical ray. The length of line segment NM equals the absolute value of m minus n. m equals 10 and n equals 4. So the absolute value of 10 minus 4 equals the absolute value of 6. The absolute value of 6 equals 6 centimeters. Exercise 2. If we have the straight line x dash and have some points E, F, G, H, and K. Now we need to find the distance between E and F. The distance between E and F equals the length of line segment EF. The length of line segment EF equals the absolute value of F minus E. The absolute value of F minus E equals the absolute value of -6 minus -7. The absolute value of -6 minus -7 equals the absolute value of -6 plus 7. -6 plus 7 equals the absolute value of 1. The absolute value of 1 equals 1 centimeter. Now try to find the distance between E and K. To find the distance, we have to find the length of line segment EK. The length of line segment EK equals the absolute value of K minus E. K equals 3 and E equals -7. The absolute value of 3 minus -7 equals the absolute value of 3 plus 7. 3 plus 7 equals the absolute value of 10. And the absolute value of 10 equals 10 centimeters. Now try to find the distance between F and K. To find the distance, we need to find the length of line segment FK. The length of line segment FK equals the absolute value of K minus F. K equals 3 and F equals -6. The absolute value of 3 minus -6 equals the absolute value of 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 equals 9. The absolute value of 9 equals 9. The distance between E and G equals the length of line segment EG equals the absolute value of G minus E. G equals -4 and E equals -7. The absolute value of -4 minus -7 equals the absolute value of -4 plus 7 equals the absolute value of 3. And the absolute value of 3 equals 3. The distance between F and G equals the length of line segment FG, and the length of line segment FG equals the absolute value of G minus F. G equals -4 and F equals -6. So the absolute value of -4 minus -6 equals the absolute value of -4 plus 6 equals the absolute value of 2. Is it right? Of course it is right. The absolute value of 2 equals 2. And now, what about the distance between G and K? By the same way, to find the distance between G and K, we have to find the length of line segment GK. the length of line segment GK equals the absolute value of K minus G. K equals 3 and G equals -4. The absolute value of 3 minus -4 equals the absolute value of 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 equals 7. And the absolute value of 7 equals 7. By the same way, the distance between E and H equals the absolute value of H minus E. H equals -1 and E equals -7. The absolute value of -1 minus -7 equals the absolute value of -1 plus 7 equals the absolute value of 6. And the absolute value of 6 equals 6 centimeters. By the same way, the distance between F and H equals the absolute value of H minus F. H equals -1 and F equals -6. The absolute value of -1 minus -6 equals the absolute value of -1 plus 6 equals the absolute value of 5. And the absolute value of 5 equals 5 centimeters. The last one is the distance between H and K. By the same way, the distance between H and K equals the absolute value of K minus H. K equals 3 and H equals -1. The absolute value of 3 minus -1 equals the absolute value of 3 plus 1 equals the absolute value of 4. And the absolute value of 4 equals 4 centimeters. In the opposite coordinate plane, ABCD is a rhombus. A. Complete the coordinates of the following points A, B, C, and D. We had studied before that the point in coordinate plane is represented by the ordered pair, and the ordered pair have two places. The first place for represent the value of x, and the second place for represent the value of y. So the ordered pair equals x and y. The point A after 3 steps from 0 on the ray OX. So A equals 3 on x and 5 on y. By the same way, B equals 0 on x and 1 on y. C equals -3 on x and 5 on y. And D equals 0 on x and 9 on y. Now, the area of the rhombus ABCD can be calculated by using the length of its perpendicular diagonals, where the length of the line segment AC equals the absolute value of C minus A. And note that the line segment AC parallel to the straight line XX dash. So we can use the straight line XX dash to find the distance. C equals -3 and A equals 3. The absolute value of -3 minus 3 equals the absolute value of -6. The absolute value of -6 equals 6 centimeters. By the same way, the length of line segment BD equals 9 minus 1 equals the absolute value of 8, and the absolute value of 8 equals 8. The area of the rhombus by his perpendicular diagonals equals half times 6 times 8 equals 24 square centimeters. Exercise 4. In the opposite coordinate plane, determine the position of the following points: L, -1 and 1, M, 1 and 1, N, 1 and 8, H, -1 and 8. We had studied before that the point in coordinate plane is represented by the ordered pair, and the ordered pair formed from two places, X and Y. The first place is represent the point on X, and the second place is represent the point on Y. So if we need to represent this point in coordinate plane, we have go to -1 on X and 1 on Y, -1 on X and 1 on Y. So L should be here. M, 1 and 1, 1 on X and 1 on Y. So M should be here. N equals 1 and 8, 1 on X and 8 on Y, 1 on X and 8 on Y. So N should be here. H, -1 and 8, -1 on X and 8 on Y, -1 and 8. So H should be here. P, find the perimeter and the area of the shape L, M, N, H. The shape L, M, N, H is a rectangle. The shape L, M, N, H is a rectangle. And we had studied before that the perimeter of the rectangle equals length plus width all times 2. So the perimeter equals length plus width all times 2 equal the length of this rectangle equal the length of line segment LH. The length of line segment LH equals the absolute value of H minus L. And note that the line segment LH is parallel to the ray OY. So we can find the distance by using the ray OY. H equals 8 and L equals 1. So the absolute value of 8 minus 1 equals the absolute value of 7, and the absolute value of 7 equals 7 centimeters. Now we have to find the width. The width of this rectangle equals the length of line segment LM. The length of line segment LM equals the absolute value of M minus L. M equals 1 and L equals -1. The absolute value of 1 minus -1 equals the absolute value of 1 plus 1 equals the absolute value of 2, and the absolute value of 2 equals 2 something. And now we have the length, and the length equals 7 centimeters, and we have the width, and the width equals 2 centimeters. So the perimeter of rectangle equals 7 plus 2 all times 2. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 9 times 2 equals 15 centimeters. Now the area equals length times width. The length equals 7 and the width equals 2. So 7 times 2 equals 14 square centimeters. By the end of the lesson, study hard and stay safe. Good luck.